you guys? Happy Saturday. May I'm asking my son for some water. Okay, guys. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Adult Play Show. I hope that you guys are having an amazing day. This is the Adult Therapy Play Show. You can tell I'm a little bit rusty today, right? A little bit rusty, okay? That's what happens when you have a very long break, okay? When life is life and you have a long break, you kind of, get your words all mixed up. But I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. Today, I'm so excited because I have the honor and pleasure to talk to my.dolish.world. And I imagine that you guys are here for our chit-chat. So I am, without further ado, going to call her on in. And I thank you guys for being with us today as well. So yeah, this is what we're doing today.
Hi. I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Doing good. I see you. Well, I can hear you. I just don't see you. I don't know
Oh,
why.
you don't see me. Uh-oh, you hear me but don't see me.
Yes, I can see you, but I don't. Oh, yeah, I can hear you, but I just don't see you on my side. Can you guys see both of us? If you guys can see both of us, then we're gonna keep it going. I wonder if I can. If my husband, can I see your tablet so I can? This
It's
happened
something.
before. This happened before. If I can see his tablet, then I'll be able to see you on his account. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Getting back into the rhythm of things. I tell you.
Yeah, yeah. Of
Getting back into the rhythm. I tell you. So I'm number one. I want to tell you thank you guys, or thank you so much for joining me today.
course.
We really do appreciate you saying yes. I admire your account.
Oh, thank
You
you.
have a beautiful account. And actually, I do want to give your introduction. For anyone who has been on her account, thank you so much, love. Yay! I'm able to see you. Thank you, baby. Wait, so sweet. Husbands are the best. There you
Yes.
go. Sis, you look great. I'm so glad. So
Thank
if you
you.
see me look down, that's because I'm looking down at both of us right here. But I thank you again. So I do want to give you an introduction. She has an incredible and stylish way of genuinely expressing her story through the art form and medium of play. When you look at her photos, you get enraptured in the colors, the textures, the background, the fashion, as well as the story that each photo conveys. And it is truly my honor and my pleasure to be able to speak to you today. So I thank you again. And I just want to know, have you always been a Barbie girl since you were a kid?
Um, yes, you could say that. So, like every little girl, you go into the store, ooh, look at all these dolls, these different dolls, the clothing, all of that type of stuff, the play sets. So it's definitely something that I was into, and if I can be honest, I probably was still playing with them at a point in time when I shouldn't have. Like well into middle school, maybe a little bit into ninth grade,
Yes.
So, but I'm kind of glad that I did that because I think it helped me keep focus, and not to mature too fast, like some of the other, individuals around me at the time. So,
Oh, I
yes.
understand that. I do. I understand that. May I ask that you push your camera down a little bit? Because I see up to your mouth. And we want to see your whole gorgeous face.
Is that better? Let me
Let's
see.
see. I got a delay on mine.
Okay.
Sure, I got a little delay. A little delay. There we go. Yes. Let's see here. So yeah, because that's how I was only getting like part of the face.
Ah, okay.
We want to see your whole gorgeousness. There
Okay.
we go. Yeah.
And I'm short, so it doesn't help.
And let me also let everyone know too that kind of like the origin of us meeting up today
Hmm.
is because we met at the Barbie Con during the
Yeah.
doll. Now I didn't go for like the whole convention, but I went for the doll show that they had on
Yeah.
Saturday.
The
And oh, it was such a pleasure meeting you.
yes, it was, and
Yeah.
I was actually with some of my local friends, and I was like, I know who that is. Let's go say hello. Because I
Yes.
think I spotted
Yes.
you
I'm
before you
so
said
glad
it.
that we did say hello.
Yeah.
And you are just as warm as your photos that you give. Because sometimes you meet people, even though
Yeah.
we're in the doll world, you still meet some people and is not quite
Hmm.
warm interaction that you were
Yeah.
expecting or thinking that it would be.
Yes.
So being able to meet you and you're so down to earth and you were, very welcoming, and I really do appreciate that. So that's kind of like the origin of how we end up, conversating about being able to have our chat today.
Hmm.
Just letting everybody else know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And did you have fun at the BarbieCon?
I did. I did have
Mhm.
fun. So that was my fourth one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was my fourth one. As always, it's a good time. It's a good break from just regular life, especially now how things are so different. So it was something that I was definitely looking forward to. We actually refer to it as like adult summer camp
I
because
can see
that's
that.
exactly what it feels like.
I can see that.
You go
I
away
can
for a
see.
week, you meet friends, you just kind of talk and bond and play and eat and sleep and shop and all of those type of things. So it's just really, just like a really, really fun experience. So yes, I had a good time.
Good, good, good. I'm glad that my town. I'm not gonna say my hometown, but this is my town where I live. I'm glad that it was welcoming for you. Good
Yeah.
experience. So yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. It's not always
Yes.
a good experience.
That and that was my first time going to Kentucky too. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to Kentucky. Let's see what it's all about.
Good, 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 good. I'm glad that you have nothing but good things to say about being here.
Yeah.
What would you say as far as your inspiration behind fashion? Because fashion speaks volumes in your photos. Your fashion is beautiful
Well,
with
thank
all of
you.
your dolls. What is your inspiration behind that in your background?
So, so fun fact. So when I was little, like I did think like, ooh, maybe I want to go do fashion design. Maybe that's what I want to do when I grow up. Like I have no idea. And I do remember very vividly making, just little doll clothes out of scraps. And I still to this day, I remember this little A-line yellow dress that I made with like purple accents. And I don't know, I just thought I was doing so much with it. Um, but that just fascinated me. And then I think now it just comes to a point like what's trendy? Like what can I put together that's going to be flattering, but that's going to be current, that's going to be modern, but then it's going to make them look like real people.
Yes,
So I find that a lot of times when I'm just looking for pieces, I'm looking, I'm trying to find nothing into something, right? Because everything that I display is not necessarily something that's overly expensive, but if you style it a certain way and mix and match it with certain
mm,
pieces, it has a way of looking more luxurious than what it is.
yes, yes,
Because I'm sure there's some pieces that people will say, "Oh, how much did you pay for that?" I might be like $5.
yes,
So
yes.
yeah, that's really the driving force, and then it's also just being different. What can I do that's different from what somebody else is doing?
I like that. I like
Mhm.
that a lot. Now, with your fashion pieces, are these pieces that you are customizing? Are these pieces that you're just like getting mass market wise? How
So
do you
it
go?
depends. It depends. So one of my biggest regrets, right? Didn't I just say I wanted to be a fashion designer? I
Yes, you
never
did.
learned. I never learned how to sew, and I really because I think I had the other, um, just kind of whatever those courses were. Like I didn't get to take home ec,
Mhm.
or
Yes,
or something like that, where it's like, okay, you
yes.
guys need to learn how to sew, all of that jazz. So I never learned how to do that. However,
Mhm.
I can print out a sewing pattern. I can stitch by hand, and I'm good with fabric glue.
There you go.
So there are a couple of pieces that I've made. There's a couple of pieces that I've asked somebody else to make, and then there's just pieces that I've just brought. There's even pieces literally like, oh, okay, I've paid $1, right? Because one of the best things about going to these conventions and doing the room sales or the big public sales day, which is what you went to,
Yes.
is to just see clothes that are like, okay, random pieces. This is $1. This is $2. This is $3, and we can both be looking at a container and not be looking for the same thing. But sometimes I feel like I just have an eye and I say, okay, how can I use this? What can I do with this? So yeah, it's a mix. If I knew how to sew with the sewing machine, um, I would be cranking out pieces left and right. But um, we haven't gotten there yet. So it's going to continue to be a mix of things where I might make it by hand, just buy it freely offline, or ask somebody who, does know how to sew, hey, can you make this for me?
Well, I tell you, the beautiful thing about sewing, because my mother's a seamstress and now she works in the medical field. But
Okay.
I mean, honestly, and she's self taught and she, held down our household with sewing for years. But what I've learned from her is that it's really about practice. Like the more that you practice, I take that back. Practice plus passion.
Right.
Practice plus passion. So you already got the passion.
Hmm.
Get the practice going, sis. You're on fire. You'll probably end up having your own clothing line and having people shop from you. So
We
yeah,
gonna try.
yeah, I believe it. I believe in you, and I believed it. So I have seen it. I have seen it come to pass. Now, what about photography? What is your background with photography? Because your photos are always jamming. Like when I'm going through my feed,
Hmm.
I know whenever I pass your photo, and I'm like, wait, wait,
Like, wait, back up.
yeah, that was my dog.
So I actually don't have any experience with photography. And I know people may say, huh, what? So how I okay. So I found let me back up. Let me back up from how I got reintroduced to dolls, right?
Okay.
Um so at first, my aunt had a daughter, so that was exciting. Like, oh, there's a little kid. Like, I just know she's
Yeah.
gonna love dolls,
Wait,
make people hmm?
are you an only child?
I am an only child. Well, I was raised an only child. I do have half siblings, but I identify as an only child because
Okay.
that's just how it been. How it's been.
Yeah, when you said your aunt had a child, you were like, "Hey, another kid." I was like, "Wait, I know how that feels."
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, but she's 12 now, so there's such a large gap in between us. And now she's transitioned to the whole anime thing, rightfully so. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
do what you do, but just kind of shopping for her. I think myself, my husband, and my cousin went to the mall for Black Friday,
Hmm.
and that's when I had gotten introduced to fashionistas, and I said, "What are these?" Because the last time I really had looked at Barbie, it was the same faces,
Yes.
the same old faces. And so I can't remember the fashionista number, but she was on a curvy body. She had the pink and orange striped dress and the huge afro. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
said, I need that doll, right? At that moment, it kind of didn't even become about her anymore. It was just like, well, I need that. So much so that there was a Walmart kind of slightly on the way home. And I told my husband, I was like, don't you want to stop by Walmart on the way home?
Hmm.
Like we could just stop to Walmart because it said that they had that doll, but the one that's actually close to us did not have it. So we stopped
Okay.
there, and I'm like in the toilet aisle, like, yeah, I'm just picking her up this doll and this doll, and I was just like in such awe because that was something that I always had dreamed about, but I feel like we were so ahead of our time
Yes.
back in the 90s. And for those wondering, yes, I was born in the 80s, and so the 90s is my childhood. So
Yes.
everything was just so 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 different. And so
Yes.
during the midst of that, my aunt, which is a very big elf on the shelf type of individual, she would do that for her daughter, and she sent me an Instagram page, Nore's Dollhouse.
Hmm.
And when I clicked on the page, I
Yes.
said, this is everything that I ever would have wanted as a child, and I didn't know how to make it, and who knew how to make it, but I wanted it and couldn't have it. But now that I'm an adult, how can we do how can we do this? And so that is what kind of threw me back into dolls and
I love
reignited
it.
my fire. And so then it just became okay. So now I'm just looking. I'm looking at her page. I click on, okay, well, all these people have liked it. Who liked her stuff? And now it's all these other doll pages. And so
Hmm.
now I'm just looking, like I'm looking to see, wow, okay, people take pictures this way. Okay, what are they using? Oh, okay, you start talking to people and getting to know. And it's like lighting. What are you using? Are you using natural light?
Yes.
Using ring light? Are you using an actual standalone camera? Are you using a cell phone? If you're using a cell phone, what kind of cell phone are you using? And so really it just became like looking, but then kind of trial and error, because I felt like I saw what I liked online
Mm-hmm.
and I had to figure out how could I make something just as good.
Yeah.
So it was really like just trial and error, like, ooh, okay. Buying ring lights, figuring out different materials for flooring, for backdrops. I think I really do have a good eye though for going into the store and seeing something and saying, "Oh, that could be a coffee table for dolls, right?" And you'll be with somebody, they're like, "What are you talking about? That's a picture frame." I'm like, "No, no, 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 don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." Like I see it in my mind. So that's kind of, yeah. I didn't have any photography experience, but I knew what I wanted to, I knew what I wanted the final product to be. So it was just like that trial and error. How do I how do I figure this out, and how do I make it pretty?
I love that. I love
Hmm.
that. Now I have like two pertinent questions at the same time, but one would be, how did you get involved with the dog community? Like, when did you get involved? How did you get involved?
So let me see. I think that was 2021. So it was during COVID, right? Because prior
Okay.
to COVID, there really was no hobby, right? It was just the wake up, and we worked, like my husband and myself worked like 10, I don't even know if, yeah, I'll say 10 minutes down the street from one another, actually in the next state over, but
Oh,
it's like
wow. Okay.
a 50-minute drive at the time. So really, it was just the routine. You go to bed, you wake up, you prepare, you leave the house, you get there, and we remember how draining all of that was. So, once it was like, hey guys, just take your computers home just in case. We'll let you know what's up. And then it was like 5 years later, you know, we'd been at home for all of that time. So it was during that time that she had sent me the dollhouse, No Raised Dollhouse page, and I
Okay.
became fascinated with it. And it was just like, okay, now I have more free time because I don't have to go to bed as early, and I also don't have to wake up as early.
True.
And because just so many things were happening, even though it's probably bad to say, even during the workday, there really just wasn't that much going on. So that kind of gave me the time to start just like doing more research or prepping more things. So just be ready to go. So I find for myself, like, or I should say, I got in a routine. Like, I have an idea. Maybe it's 10 a.m. I have an idea. I go to lunch. I go to lunch at 1 o'clock. So I'm like, this is the doll I'm going to use, and this is the outfit. Okay. Then it's like I'm off of work at 4 o'clock. Then it's like, okay, so this is going to be the setup. However, my pictures come out best when I take them at night. So it would kind of
Mhm.
become a process throughout the day, during my free periods throughout the day, in preparation to take the photo at night. So that's kind of how that went.
I see. I see. I like that. I like how you were able to schedule that in.
Yes.
Um, do you ever find yourself kind of like fighting with any creative blocks? Like writer's block kind of thing, where you're wanting to get an idea, pushed out, but you're just kind of struggling to get that creative idea. I mean,
Sometimes,
if you do, how do you overcome that?
ooh. So sometimes it's like a pivot, right? Like maybe I tried to prep, but for whatever reason in my mind, the outfit on the doll looked right. Now that I have it in my hand, and I'm just like, something is off. Is it the hair? Is it the makeup? Is it the color? Is it the shoes? Is it what I'm trying to pair it with? So then sometimes it would get to a point where I'm putting the notes in my phone, right? Like, this is an idea that I have. So maybe it's not working for me today, because maybe this outfit looks better on a different doll. Like, should the doll be smiling? Should she have a closed mouth? Should, it just would become so many layers to it. But I've definitely had blocks. Like, there are times where I'm like, golly, I have the desire to do something, but I honestly don't know what. Right. And then
Hmm.
it's like, but there's a million other things I could be doing. But for some reason, sometimes I get so married to a specific idea. And so If it
Mm.
doesn't just come out right at that specific time, then it's like, all right, let me put it on the back burner. And then I just kind of pause, right? I just kind of take a break.
Okay.
Um, but
I
I do
understand.
come, yeah, it's like I come back to it, or it's like maybe I can pivot and do something else. If I'm extra proactive, then it's like, geez, there's times where I may have knocked out 3 pictures in one day. But then,
That's good. That's real good.
yeah,
That's real good.
right.
But I love it that you said about taking a break. And
Hmm.
I feel that we don't put enough focus on the importance of a break. Now,
Right.
I will admit, I'm like probably queen of break. Like I will take a break because I'm I'm married. We have our 10 kids. I
Hmm.
homeschool, so and I have and I also write. So there's a
Hmm.
lot going on. And
Yeah.
I will not put out a post. I will be honest. I think at the very beginning of it, I was like, sorry, it's taking a little bit longer to put out the next post. But now I'm like, you know what? I have life going on, and I
Yeah.
can't apologize for that because I feel that our doll hobby is here to help with life. It's an
Exactly.
enhancement to life.
Hmm.
So I don't put out an apology, but I will take a break. So I love
Right.
that you said that.
Yes. It's important. It's important to take a break.
It is.
Um, I think one of my struggles now is, it's like since we have to go back to a physical building, it is, sending me back to that place where you got to go to bed earlier. You got to wake up earlier. Like for 5 years of my life, I was waking up at about 7:15. Now I'm waking up at 5 o'clock, so it definitely takes a toll. And, luckily we don't work as far from, where we live at, but it's still taxing. So there are times where I'm taking a break, maybe from the photography aspect piece of it, but I'm still kind of pushing myself to work on something from, behind the scenes. So there may be some clothing, like I've got a couple piles of clothing that are just kind of sitting, waiting to be put away. But it's like, okay, I'm going through those, I'm trying those on. So I'm still
Yeah.
playing. People just aren't seeing me play.
Oh, I love that. I
Yes.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that because it is so important to still be able to play even whenever people aren't seeing it.
Yes.
And I guess I'm like really emphasizing on this point because I have seen
Hmm.
some of our doll accounts kind of diminish, or people are commenting on their posts and saying that they're not having the same enjoyment with their dolls, and it's really hard to keep up with posting, and it's hard keeping up with this algorithm. But the reality is,
Hmm.
for any of us that play dolls as kids, and like you said, even beyond just childhood,
Yeah.
we played and didn't do it for an algorithm. We didn't do it
Right.
for social media. So
Hmm.
I love that you said that, I'm playing, I'm doing my thing behind the scenes. You may not see it, but this is still my hobby that I enjoy. Is still my
Yeah.
passion.
Very much so. Very much so.
I love that you said it because I believe that we have to be able to remember the importance of whatever hobby that we have
Right.
behind the scenes. Because if you just do it for social media, and I get it, like it gets really, when you get all the likes in the comments, you can get caught up in it really
Right.
easy where you are just doing your photography and posting so that someone else can comment or this and that. But when we get caught up in that, it can really cause you to lose focus of how important the hobby is for you personally.
Right. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. And you can kind of tell, people still stay in that cycle of, but I gotta post.
Yeah.
I gotta get my likes. And even for the people, I understand, for people that are monetized on one of these accounts, right? Of course, the only way you keep getting a check is if you keep pushing the content. So I
That's true.
definitely can understand, for the individuals that do that. Um, But yeah, I try to still stay focused, like you said, on why am I even doing this in the first place? You know, just making myself happy, giving myself something else to do besides sit on the couch and watch TV.
I know.
Because that literally, like, I was just a show fanatic. Like, ooh, what show is on? Ooh, can I binge watch? Oh, is it multiple seasons? Like, that was really just kind of my thing before getting into this hobby. And I felt like, personally, yes, it felt good to play again, but it also felt good to be introduced to people Like, you know, I
Yeah.
live in the, for those that don't know, I live in the DC area. And there are so many people here you never would even know. Like, I'm sure it is in various states, that collect dolls, like so many different types of dolls. Some people collect, you know, figures or whatnot. So me taking a chance on getting into this hobby has really connected me to some amazing people in this community. Like, literally, when I tell you, like, I have met some people, I could walk to your house, never would have known that you know, collected dolls. I never would have even known that I would become close with somebody who lives 10, 15 minutes away from me or whatnot. So,
Right.
I think I'll be forever grateful for that, taking the chance of doing this as an adult, meeting
Yeah.
people, doing it publicly. That's like a whole nother level. It becomes a little bit nerve wracking when you're doing your photography thing in public, but when you've got three other people or even one other person with you, it's like, whew, okay, I got it. At least I'm not weird by myself. Like, there's somebody else here with me. So
I can understand that. I can
yeah,
understand that. I do. I do.
yes.
I sometimes, when I have time, will take some photos outside of our house,
Hmm.
and you will get some stares for just like, what are you doing? What?
Yeah.
But in the same hand,
Uh-huh.
since we now have this explosion with TikTok and other social
Hmm.
media accounts, some people pay it no mind because they're just like, okay, this must be a new
A
trend
new
that's
thing.
going on,
Yeah, exactly.
new
Exactly.
social media trend.
Exactly. Yes. It's, I will say though, it's been mostly well received though. I don't feel like
Mhm.
I've gotten, you know, not it really hasn't been any criticism, and I will give my husband credit because when we go anywhere, you know, he's like my personal hype man. Oh yeah, here's her account. Look at it, man. See what she does with these dolls, man. They look so realistic. I'm like, okay, hype man, settle down, settle down. Like, geez, simmer down.
Always
Yes,
my husband. My husband
yes.
set up his tablet over here. You probably heard something fall a little bit earlier because the phone kept sliding and he was over here
Uh-huh.
fixing it. So yeah, I always say I'm like, where would I be without my
Yes.
man?
Mhm.
That may
Yes.
sound old school, very very old school. I know we got a lot of
Mhm.
independent, spirits and so forth going for it, but I appreciate my
Yeah.
husband. I do. I get it. When you have someone hyping you up like that, it
Mhm.
really does help you feel even more comfortable
Yes.
doing something that's not the norm. This isn't quite the norm
Mhm.
for ladies our age to still have our
Exactly.
dolls. That's just,
Exactly.
and when people do have their dolls, they're just not going to speak about it or whatever hobby that they have. They're
Mhm.
not really going to speak about it aloud, just like you said, doing this publicly. So when you have someone that has just totally accepted you for who you are, embraced it, it makes life more easier.
It does. It definitely does. For sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so, and honestly, I do want to comment too when you said about sitting down and watching some shows. I want to say something. Since COVID, it seems like shows are jumping from left to right.
Yeah.
Every time I turn around, it's another show. So when you
Yeah.
said sitting down
Yes. It
on
is.
shows, it's so easy to happen.
It is. It is easy to happen, and now it's again. It's like kind of coming back, tying it back to the community because some of the friends that I've made on here, right? It's like, you know, we talk more. We talk about more than just dolls. Like, dolls was the initial, you know, common denominator, but then it's like, okay, we got this in common, we got this in common. So it's like, how many times have now I got sucked into watching the show because you told me to watch it, and now I got you sucked into watching the show because I told you to watch it. So um yeah, now it's kind of like just mixing both worlds together, and I'm fine with it. I do personally prefer to binge watch a show. I can skip the every week type of thing,
Yes,
but give me a good show and it's like, okay, we can roll with it.
I know, right? I was kind of like that with oh my gosh, The Flash, and then that daggone 90 Day Fiance. I couldn't get, and then they had
Oh,
like what 7 or 8 different branches of 90 Day
yes,
Fiance.
they
I
do.
went down a wormhole on that, and I'm still kind of like I'm getting out of it.
Uh-huh.
But if I catch one episode on demand, I'm probably gonna watch about 4 more. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you know what? But when you're doing photography and we're taking these pictures, there's always the story
Mm-hmm.
that's with our pictures. And so I feel that whenever you're watching shows, watching movies, reading books, reading articles, that
Hmm.
also helps enhance the storyline that you give to
Yeah.
your dogs. Do you
Yes.
find that to be true for you?
Yeah, I think so because I think my focus is realism, right? Like,
Yeah.
yes, this is a plastic movable figure. However, I want to portray it as real as I, possibly can. So when I'm looking at these shows, I may say, that's kind of interesting, or oh, okay, that's a nice shot. Oh, that's a nice, like scenery. How could I replicate? What could I do that's close to that to give like that same vibe or that same feeling? So yes, I've definitely done that, and that definitely helps for
I
sure.
love it. I
Hmm.
really, really do. Now, when we talk about realism,
Hmm.
and I see your backgrounds that you have, they look
Yes.
extremely realistic, your miniatures and everything, which I give you a huge hand clap for that. I mean, it looks
Thank
very
you.
realistic. Are you building your sets yourself, or are you purchasing them? And you don't have to give us any of your,
Hmm.
information as far as like who you
Um,
purchase them from. But I've always been curious, are you building these yourself? And then if
mhm.
so, how long is it taking you to build?
So it depends. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've actually brought like a physical background or anything from anybody. So if it's flooring, like I'm making the flooring, whether it is out of craft sticks and I'm staining the flooring, or if it's contact paper, like I'm making that. The same thing with the backdrop. Just also thinking about how things show up in the pictures, but with the lighting, but then, with the clothing and all that stuff. So that honestly tends to be some sort of fabric or contact paper as well. Yeah. Um, yeah. And it's pretty standard. It's like not poster board, like foam board, and then whatever the floor material is so that I can mix and match the floors and the backdrops.
Yeah.
Um, the one diorama that I actually did build and still left up is like the miniature kitchen and living room type combination. So I think it's like the kitchen, then there's a dining room table, and then there's a living room. So that will probably come out more as we're getting closer and closer to the Thanksgiving, Christmas type holiday. Got to put the tree up, got to decorate, all that type of stuff. So that I actually did build myself. Like I spent time actually talking to another doll friend. Just okay. So what do you think about this color? So what do you think about this design? So if I want to make this, how do I do this? What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on that? And it's just um, a lot of my driving force too is really the cost of some things. Let's be honest, the cost of some dolly things is just too expensive. And I'm never going to judge a person for how much they choose to spend on it.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
completely fine. Me, I always want to get the biggest bang for my buck. So
Okay.
literally, I think I had stumbled across somebody's selling like a Etsy page, and they had 1/6 scale appliances, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" And the price was amazing. So for me, I could justify spending the money because the price was amazing. I said, "Okay, now I'm going to have to figure out how to come up with proper measurements to now make cabinets to go with all the appliance stuff that I had gotten from them." So it was one person making that. Then a friend of mine, I was like, "You think you can 3D print me a cooktop?" She was like, "Sure. Give me the dimensions." I said, "Okay, great. This is what I want." Boom. So get that from her, paint that. That matches that. That is the longest project that I had worked on because it literally was creating the non-functional, which is fine, kitchen cabinets, um, and kind of pairing it up with everything to make sure it fit and was looking looking the way that I wanted it to look.
Yeah.
So I had that. I was ready for Christmas, so I would say October. I started probably working on that. I think in October, and I think I finished it after Thanksgiving, probably. So
Oh,
roughly like
wow.
2 months, but it wasn't every day, right? It would just be, okay, here's the initial, this is the cabinet, this is the layout that I'm going with. So let me work on one cabinet a day. Okay, boom. Let me work on another cabinet a day. So it literally was in like pieces that all slowly came together. Then it was like, okay, this is my backsplash option, but I don't know if I'm feeling it. Talking to a friend, what do you think?
Hmm.
Try that one. Okay, that one. Okay, like, okay, great. Let me cut this out. Let me, all of that stuff. So yeah, I think that took about 2 months for me to put that together.
Wow. Wow. So, I mean, like to me, that still requires being laser focused.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because 2 months, I can't really measure like how long that feels for you, but for me, it's like 2 months still feels like you got it out in a reasonable amount of time. Like you got it
Right.
out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Especially if
was.
you can even do it every day. So that's really good.
Yeah. It was because it just was like I had to pace myself. I kind of, which I have to stop myself from doing. You just want something that's like, but I want it done now.
Yeah.
I want it right now. Like I want it done now. And I find that usually when I do something for the first time, it does come out really well. However,
Mhm.
if I take more time and slow down some, then the result is even better. Because even I was even nervous to do the project because I felt like my foam board cutting skills were not the best. But the friend that I had been talking with, they're like, no, get yourself a mat. Do it on the table. Make sure you're sitting down. Make sure there's ample space. Score it first. Do your, just take your time. It was like giving me all the steps, and I'm like, okay, I guess I can do it. And then it was like, yeah, I don't really feel like paying it to have some. I don't want to pay you $500 for a 1/6 scale kitchen. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So let me listen to what you said, and let me take my time, and let me
Yeah.
try to work it out that way.
I understand.
Yeah,
I do. I understand. And then also, like, once when you do it, it's just like having so much pride in the work that you
yeah.
did that you
Mhm.
didn't know that you'd be able to do until you did it.
Yes, it's like, look at me,
So,
I did that, y'all. Look at me, I grew up a little bit.
yeah, I can take on a real kitchen.
Yes, I feel like it. And I think, another reason why I said, let me go ahead and do it, because that's an easier and cheaper way to do a renovation than doing your own home renovation. So when you get that creative and that itch, it's like, let me just bring it back down to 1/6 scale and let me go ahead and work on this. That's way more cost friendly than working on something in my house. So,
See, there's nothing wrong with that because, actually, there was a small portion of time where Arcade wanted to go into architecture. I wanted to be an architect.
uh-huh.
And but everything that's done in architecture is done on a 1/6 scale. Like it's done, even 1/12. They do everything in miniature before they actually, formulate this into the actual size that it needs to be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, that's like the beginning of something that could be great as far as renovation in the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about gaining that confidence. You do it on a miniature scale, then you gain even more confidence to be able to do it
Yeah.
for your own real life size.
Yes. Nope. I agree.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm there. So now we're talking about holidays. Since you brought up holidays, are you looking forward to the holidays with your dolls?
I am, because I want to. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! So this is kind of like that. Uh, where I try to be proactive, right? And I'm gonna see, because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, blink. We're gonna blink. September 1st is gonna be here, literally my day, right? So it's
Yeah.
really time to solidify in my mind, right? If you want to kind of be prepared, and if you want to hit the ground running at the beginning of the month, if it's Thanksgiving, I'm not going to say the beginning of the month, but if you want to kind of jump into fall, and then if, Christmas for December, then now is kind of the time to start solidifying what do you want to do. So I think that is giving me a little bit of excitement, because I did have some different ideas during and after the holiday season last year. So, and as a matter of fact, well, we're in August. I think at the beginning of the month, Hobby Lobby already had Christmas stuff,
Yeah, they did.
and, and all of it wasn't in there. Like all the miniature stuff wasn't in there. But I was like, oh gosh, y'all started already. Okay, so I'm gonna need to come back probably sometime in September to get what I need to get that I don't already have. But it is exciting. It is exciting. So I am looking forward to it.
Are you going to be taking your pictures early? Like, whenever you take your pictures, especially when we talk about like
Hmm.
holiday dinners?
Yeah.
And anyone who takes doll photos knows that even though you're not cooking the food for
Hmm.
your miniatures, it still takes a lot of time setting
Oh
up
yeah.
the table. And oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it really, really does. So when we talk about all the time that goes into
Uh-huh.
the dressing of the dolls and then creating the decor and the food and arranging all that on the table, do you take your photos early or do you wait until the holidays are actually approaching and take those photos?
So the goal, the goal is actually to do it early, right? Like that actually is the goal, and that's kind of what I've started thinking about now. Is hypothetically speaking, if everything is fine, like I could essentially start doing everything in October, right? Like I could at least take a good amount of photos to the point where I have some content to get me started. And then if I want to make some more, I can make some more. But at least I've already started. So I think with it taking, even though it took me about 2 months to do the Dio last year, I still kind of was really cutting it close, I think, for Christmas because we had traveled for Thanksgiving. So what I did post for Thanksgiving was not in my home or not in my diet. Like that was our dog club. That what I posted from there. But for Christmas I was probably like wrapping up as far as having everything ready. Probably like 2 weeks before before Christmas, and I'm just like, this really is something that could be done. You really could do it at any time of the year if
Yeah,
you
you
want to
could.
be honest with yourself. The only thing that would change is, whatever doll, right? If another doll comes out and you're like, wow, I really want this doll to be baking cookies in the kitchen. So I took all these great photos and I can still use these great photos, but now I got to recreate recreate this so I can throw this particular doll. Or maybe for people who specifically do families or couples or that type of storytelling, they may say, okay, well, Jane Doe's brother wants to come to dinner now, and then
Mhm.
Jane Doe wasn't even going to have a brother until they released this new Ken doll. Now she has a brother, so now I got to work him into the story. So I feel like that's the only hang up with it. But yeah, you can start it at any time. I'm that's the goal because I feel like that's kind of going to thrust me back into a little bit more continuous content is the holidays.
I'm with you on that. I'm
Yeah.
honestly with you. Actually, quite honestly, this conversation is helping to thrust me back in my photos. I've been posting this
Mhm.
week with photos that I took in July. So I was like,
Not bad.
this conversation is going to help, give me some life towards my photography and my posting. Just got
Mhm.
busy, life just
Yeah.
you get busy with the routine of being, I guess, an adult, just and you
Boo.
don't really get a chance to, yeah, just
Yeah.
just allow yourself to sit down and breathe and have some creative time,
Hmm.
and some time just to yourself. Like for
Yeah.
me, this is my me time.
Right.
This is my me time right here. Us having this chat. When I come into my doll room when I'm doing photography, that's my me time.
Yeah.
I know everybody's me time is different.
Right.
But that's
It
how
is.
I enjoy my time, is being able
Mhm.
to take my doll photos, or just like we said, just being able to play behind the scenes is what
Mhm.
I enjoy.
Yeah.
So yes, the holidays, I've been sitting up here thinking, I'm like, okay, am I going to have any dolls participate for Halloween? Are we just going to jump right into Thanksgiving? Like,
Mhm.
what are we doing? Which dolls are going to do what? And I'm honestly, when you talk about new dolls, I have seen some new dolls. Those
Mhm.
new holiday kins look fabulous.
Mhm.
Did you get any yet?
I didn't yet, but I've seen some of it. I'm like, okay, they're really cute. It's
They are.
so I think that's okay. Let me back up. So I think I'll kind of be okay with starting my content early because I feel like given the current circumstances and the fact that some dolls just cost a little bit more than what they used to. And I am very much uh, I don't need everything, right? Like, or I can wait on that. Either I'm going to have it or I'm not. Like, I don't have to rush out and buy it. I don't need it right now unless I know it's super, super rare or it's like a once in a lifetime type situation. Then it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to jump on it. But other than that, I'm like, okay. So I think I saw maybe like two of the holiday kins that I'd be interested in. But I'm like, okay, I can wait. And then I think one of them, it might not even have an accurate made to move body match. So I'm like, well, then what would be the point of me rushing to go get him if he doesn't have a body
Which one is
match?
that?
I think it was the Asian one. I thought that people were
Uh,
saying I don't know if he matches that very pale BMR Ken. I don't know if they're the exact same tone or not. Because that in
okay.
my mind, I was like, okay, well maybe he matches that, and I have one of those, so that would be perfect. But I'll have to look. I'll have to
See,
look and
I'm
see.
with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you on that. As far as it has to be rare. It has to feel like once when they're not in stock. That like the Leah doll. Like
Mhm.
I did get that doll, and I told my mom and my husband, I was like, I'm just so glad. And all the
Yeah.
dolls in the collection, that is
Mm.
one of the dolls that I really do just prize. Like
Yeah.
I love that doll. I haven't had another doll that I felt the same way. Now, of course,
Mm.
we've made purchases since then, and the doll collection is getting bigger. But I think I'm kind of like on a fast right now. Like it
Hmm.
has to be a doll that really just speaks
Speaks.
to me and calls, and
Yes.
it's just like, yeah, like grabs
Mm.
my arm. It's just like, you have to
Right.
grab me, you have to buy me.
Yes.
I haven't really felt that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of waiting to see. I think that Brooklyn doll that we voted on, was that last year? I think maybe. I
Oh, the
think
boho.
Yeah, I think
Mm,
maybe that's still supposed to come. So I'm like, okay, that's something that I already know I'm interested in. So that comes out, boom. That's what did everybody vote on? I think one of those repros. I think it was a Steffi Face repro. That might be this year too. So if so, I'll jump on that. Right, like that's exciting. With the Venus Williams, I got one. I
you
think with
did?
the Yeah, I did. I
I
did get
didn't. I didn't.
on Amazon because I was like, okay, I was like, I think she's cute. Like, I can definitely do something with her. I need to get at least one. So that one I got. I did end up with two LeBrons, which is funny. My husband ended up he's into to shoes. So one of the guys that he buys shoes from was like, yeah, you got that, you need that LeBron doll. I got that LeBron doll too. So that's where mine actually had came from. He secured that one, and then was it Foul Schwartz? I think a little bit later on in the day had listed there. So that's how I ended up with two of those. Um,
Okay.
and the Doctor Who. I have a Doctor Who.
Yeah, I got a Doctor Who.
I think those are the last Barbies that I brought. Yeah, prior. Yeah, and then the Aaliyah was what, earlier this year. I think I ended up with three of her. I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get. It's at least two. I know it's at least two, but
Okay.
it
Okay.
might be three. I'm not sure. I'm like, I'm gonna get what I can get with that one.
Sure. I don't
Be
blame you. I don't blame
Yeah.
you. Sure. If another one comes, because I did unbox mine. If another one
Hmm.
comes my way, I'm gonna keep her in the box. I will keep
Yeah,
her in the
and I
box.
think
But I
that's
did.
why I brought two, because I was like, in the event I want to take out one, I will have one to put in the box. But they're all still boxed. I feel bad because all of those dolls I named are all still in the box.
Oh, really? Girl, I'm an unboxer. I am an
I
unboxer.
am. I am an unboxer. So that's another kind of weird. I don't want to say weird, but that's another quirk about me, right? Like if I don't have a specific vision for you, I leave you in the box. And I'm the same way with my integrity dolls, right? Because I was talking to a friend, I was like, "Yeah, that doll." I said, "She's so cute. She's still boxed." Yeah, she's still boxed too, and it's just because I feel like if I take everybody out that's boxed, then it's just like y'all are just kind of sitting there waiting, like, please play with me, do something with me, please. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I
you feel
want
the
to.
pressure.
Yeah, it's like I want
Yeah.
to, but I don't, like, I have a vision for you and it's not ready yet. So I'm gonna leave you there until I'm ready.
Yeah. I don't think that's weird. I have a few that's still in the box. There's not a whole lot that's in the box, but I do have a few of them that are still in the box. So I do. I get where you're coming from with it. And there's just some dolls that I think that you may just like, and you really, you're glad to have them in your collection. You want them, but you
Mhm.
just don't really want to, you know, have them for play purposes.
Yeah,
They're just really
it's not
there
yet.
to be in the box.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
some are valuable, and you're just like, hey, I'm gonna keep you in the box. I don't
Hmm.
want anything to happen to you. So yeah,
Exactly. It's like not
yeah.
yet.
Yeah. I completely understand that. I do want to bring up before we do any questions, because people do have some questions and comments, but
Oh.
I do want to ask you, how did
Hmm.
your DC meetup go? Can anyone join? How would they join? Of course, it had to be in the DC area, but
Yeah.
how would they join and all that?
So it actually went very, very well. So just like a little backstory on that. Like
Okay.
I said, I got back into this during COVID. And so actually all the people that I kind of met face to face for the first time, I think during that first initial meetup, minus one person, are club members. But that was like, wow, it just was so wild to me. We met, it's called the National Harbor here, which is like literally right across the water from Virginia, but also kind of right across the water from DC. So we met there. I think we had gotten something to eat, and then we just kind of like set our stuff up outside, and it felt really cool to just be doing this with other people. So it was like, since then, of course, you go through your normal ups and downs trying to find the right makeup of people. And we finally found the right makeup of people. Um, and it's like we just had been such a close and tight knit group. But sadly, we had lost two of our members. They both had passed away from two different
Oh, mm.
scenarios. So that was a little bit tough to, deal with or whatnot. So we kind of got to a place where we were like, okay, well, maybe we can open up and just see who else would be a good, fit. Because at the end of the day, we want to protect our peace, but we still want to protect each other, because even though we share this hobby and love of dolls, we're all still different people. And so I want to make sure when we come out to our meetings that you're good, like you're okay, like nobody's making you feel weird, nobody's making you feel uncomfortable, and vice versa. So the just putting the feel out there with the open house went really, really well. Like, it was a lot of people, and it was still probably like 8 to 10 people that couldn't even make it. And
Wow.
I think we ended up with 9 people coming out, um, that we had never really interacted with face to face. So, like, meeting people finally face to face are like, wow, I had no idea. Again, another person right in your backyard. So we're still working through that process, but it went through so smoothly. Like, people showed up, they came with their dolls, they talked, they got to know us a little bit better. You just kind of start networking and talking, and kind of start bonding a little bit, and it was just really, really cool. Like, it was cool to go through something like that. And for people that don't know, that don't go to BarbieCon or anything like that, like, we became an actual doll club that aligns with the Barbie convention, as far as being on, like, their steering committee. So the
Oh,
conventions are ran essentially by volunteers and Barbie clubs. And so that's why it's not just as simple as, oh, hey guys, I'm with you guys now. It's like, no, we actually have an application process. We have bylaws, we have a fee, we have things that we have to report to the bigger convention as a whole. So yeah, it's an interesting process. Like I said, we're still going through it. But it really was amazing to just see people want to come hang with us and possibly join us. So it was just really, really cool.
okay. Well, I like that. I like that. I like how you said how you guys have your application
Hmm.
and how it's ran through. So you guys are almost like a branch. Are you kind of like a branch of the Barbie convention?
Um, yeah, for example's sake, probably that's the best way to kind of put it. So each official club connected to the convention has like a set of officers or whatnot, and then they have voting representatives. So it's three voting representatives per club, and I'm one of those three voting representatives. So there's
Oh,
meetings throughout the year that you have, and everybody's on a Zoom call for those. And then at the physical convention, there is a meeting that you have face to face, and you're in the big room with everybody, and the officers at the very, very top of the organization. So that, yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it is local. People, of course, have to be local, because we've had people ask that don't live anywhere near. So I'm like, how can I join you guys? And it's just like, it becomes difficult, because what makes us unique is just how we play in person, how, after we handle official business. Like, that's the piece that gets posted online. And I know that feeling of doing something and wanting to do it with somebody else, but not really have
mhm.
anybody else to do it with. So then you think, if you don't live in the area, let's just say you live in Indiana, it's like, we kind of can't help you because you live in Indiana. We get together and we play here in this
Yeah,
area. So even though we would love to have you and you're in Indiana, like, we can't, you can't do this with us
yeah.
because you're not physically here.
It makes sense. It makes
Hmm.
sense. So
Yeah.
the club that you guys have is very much based on personal interaction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if
Hmm.
anyone wanted to know, because I'm guessing that because you said you guys had your open house.
Hmm.
So this is after the open house. If someone wanted to join or talk to you about joining, would they DM you? Would they leave a comment under the previous post that you had about the open house?
They could do either of them. I think we're still trying to decide how we want to handle open houses going forward.
Okay.
Like, it might be a situation where it's one a year, right? Like, because the thing is, you don't want to rush when you say, okay, we're 10 people. Let's go ahead and add 15 people more. Right? Like,
Yeah,
that's just a lot of personalities and a lot of change all at once. So I see it more as like a slow walk
I got you.
in that process, because it's not about the numbers for us. It's about, like I said, protecting everybody's peace, but still keeping it fun, but honestly keeping it drama free. It's like,
I understand it. I
yeah, but
do. I do. I understand
yeah,
it because when you start getting different personalities together, and then you get different cliques that can form, and you just get it get
right,
very much out of hand very, very quick.
yes,
And
yes,
if you're wanting it to remain more intimate and more personal, and everyone being on the same page, you do
yeah,
have to really monitor how big it gets
uh-huh.
and slow walk it, like you said.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love the photos that you guys have. I saw the one with the pool. I was like, oh wow! Did
Yeah,
you guys like create? I know I was about to close up and go to questions and stuff, but did you guys create that diorama together? Like, how
no.
do that?
So normally, hey, here we go with that pre-planning again. So normally when we meet, I think it's because we kind of follow the fiscal year type model, right? So the end
Okay.
of our club year will be essentially the end of next month, and October kicks it off, and that's when people would renew their dues and all that stuff like that. But we kind of decide, what are we doing, at least for like the next 6 months? What are we doing? We typically, Thanksgiving time, we do Friendsgiving. Like, that's just a staple. And then we decide, okay, if we're doing Friendsgiving, what do you bring? They know I got dog food galore. So I always got dog food duty, always. And then I bring other miscellaneous things. But it's like, okay, if you're bringing dioramas, what are you bringing? What are you bringing? What are you bringing? So sometimes it's a mix of things. Sometimes it is, okay, well, we know you got this or you got that specifically. So Kenny Doll 2023 actually had made the whole pool. So he was like, okay, guys, we'll do the pool party. Boom. I got this grand idea. I'm working on the pool dial. Y'all will see it when we get there. I'm like, okay, boom, great. And here he comes with the pool, the patio furniture, the background, all of that stuff like that. And it's like, okay. So sometimes he, might have the bulk of it because he has a lot of things. But then there's some things that I have. So it's like, okay, then I find myself dragging all the bags and the totes out the house, and I got a wagon in my trunk, a collapsible wagon in my trunk. So
Yes,
it's
those
like,
come in handy. Those
oh
come in
my
handy.
gosh, they
Those
do
come
come.
in handy.
Yes, they come in handy. So then I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, let me unload and put everything in a collapsible wagon and drag it on to the door. But yeah, we just kind of pick the themes, and if we got to pivot, we got to pivot. Like, there was one, whatever we had, I think for January this year, we couldn't meet in January because there were some things going on in DC. So we just said, skip it. So
yeah,
we had ended up pushing it back. So we pivot when we need to pivot. But most of it comes from pre-planning.
I like that. I like
Hmm.
that. I like that. I like that. And then also, what I always find that helps anytime whenever you're in a club or you have any corporation, anything that you're doing, when you already have things that's annual, like you said, your Friendsgiving, that's
Hmm.
annual. So like
Yeah.
that's in the book,
Yep.
and you just kind of work it from there. So that always helps with
Yes.
pre-planning, of course, like whatever events happen each year. But that sounds so interesting. I love it. I love it. So since I'm not in the DC area, I'm able to relish the pictures that you guys have. And please let him know that
Yeah.
his pool was awesome. It
Yes,
was
I'll let him
fabulous. I was
know.
like, wow.
Yeah,
That's
no,
nice.
that was really really cute. Really
It
really cute.
really was. It really,
Yeah.
really was. I can always tell, like you guys just the joy that's on your faces and your eyes and the photos, it just really does come out. And then the way that you guys are able to you're able to put your dolls in different positions and different areas of the dioramas, and you can tell there's like there wasn't any conflict
Right.
because and that's also, some of the issues sometimes if you have like a whole bunch of people. I'm just thinking back to
Mhm.
like when I used to have a whole bunch of friends and we would try to play Barbies and
Mhm.
it just didn't always go well because I want my
Exactly.
dolls right there and they're supposed to be.
So I'll say,
So,
since you brought that up, it's kind of funny. Like we know each other so well, right? So let's just say we get there and I'm setting everything up. I know how long it takes me, right? But you may be a way faster. Just let me pop my doll in here, 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 here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm done. I let
mhm.
you go. So it's not even a case. We kind of know that about each other, so we don't have to compete. Go ahead, you go first because it doesn't take you that long. You make yourself down this, make your way down the assembly line, and then those of us that take a little bit longer, because I hate to say it, we're kind of perfectionists, then we tend to kind of just go last. Or it may be a situation like the one we did for the open house. That was technically three different scenes set up side by side by side. So
Wow.
then it was kind of really like that assembly line. Okay, I'm done here. Are you done? Yeah, I'm done. Okay, let's switch. And then you'll switch out, and then the person will get their photos with that next backdrop, and vice versa. So that's been working for us because I know exactly what you mean. Trying to play with
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
and the playing does not work. But I feel like we figured that out about each other, and we work it. Like some of us just might be socializing, or others would be socializing while those of us that are slower are taking our photos. It works. It just works.
It works. Hey, what did I say? If it works, don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's where we're
Exactly.
at with that. If it ain't
Exactly.
broke, don't fix it. Well, we
Exactly.
have a lot of different comments. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of them because there were some
Okay.
questions. So let's see here.
Okay.
Let me try to. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna go all the way to the front, if I'm able to, all the way to the top.
Okay.
I know what. Well, I'll go to this question because I keep on trying to go to the top and it's not letting me. Are y'all a certain age? Is what Doll Mama asked, and that's in regards to the doll club. Do you have to be a certain age, or what age are you?
I think our requirement was over the age of 18, but I want to say our youngest, it's a range. It's a range. So I guess technically, as it stands, I'm probably the third youngest at 39. I
Okay.
think somebody else is 38, but our youngest, I want to say, is 26. Oldest, I'm not 100% sure, but there's at least, I would say 50s, in the 50s. So it's a range.
See, that's the beauty about this too. Like
Hmm.
you be any
Yeah.
age when it comes to this hobby. You really, really can.
Right.
This is something I've talked to my family members about as well. It's like you want to do it, you can do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
allow yourself to enjoy it. So
Hmm.
yes, yes, I love that. Now, do you have anyone who ever comes with different dolls instead of Barbies?
Yes. So a lot of us also collect Integrity Toys dolls. So it just kind of depends, right? And then we have one individual that they're a mix. So they do like those Fison figures, but then they also have some Barbies, but then they also have some Integrity. So it just kind of depends. But most of the stuff I feel like we bring works for everybody because you'll notice sometimes when you look at Barbie furniture how it's 1/6 scale, but it's not really 1/6 scale because the bed is extra extra low, or the chair is
Yeah,
extra extra low, or the bench is really really low. So um, a lot of the times our stuff works for those different types of dolls because they're different sizes and heights.
I can see that. I can
Hmm.
see that. Phantom Productions told you good luck.
Thank
And
you.
then we have B Life Model that said you both look perfect. Oh, well, thank you. God bless you. That's sweet. Okay, Rock Newton said, hey, Bug.
Oh, that's my mama.
My aunt's on here. Wish hello, Aunt Etna. Davenport's family gave us some highs. Beyond Valley of the Dolls said hi. Trying to see. I saw some questions up here too. Okay, the Dollkin said, I feel this statement so much. My niece rekindled my doll love as well. This is when you were speaking about your niece. Started with one a few years ago, which turned into a mass collection. Oh, doesn't it start with one? Doesn't it start with one? And it grows very,
Hmm.
very quick.
Yes, too quickly.
Too quick. Okay. Please do not get mad at me. I'm probably going to say this wrong. It is in French. Jouet. Is that how I would say that?
Oh,
And I agree with you. Am I saying it wrong? Jouetsenjeu. So please
his
forgive
first name is Justin, so we just call him
me.
Justin.
Justin. Okay, I'm like, please forgive me. I'm over here regretting not taking French and everything. I'm like,
Right. It's like I
that
took
class
Spanish.
offered. I agree with you. It's a pivot. You start with one project and may need to pause and work on something else.
Hmm.
So true. So true. I was
Yes.
telling my husband too. I was like, I got to get my Sims back because my account, I couldn't remember my password, all this other crap. So trying to get my
Ooh,
Sims back because I'm like, that's always a great thing to pause with.
it
You need to take a
is. You know what's so funny to me is how many doll collectors are also simmers.
yeah, it's crazy
Yes.
you said simmers because that's what my husband calls it. He calls it my
Oh
simmer
yeah.
time.
Yes. Because I remember, and I think it must have came with something because like Sims 1. And I was like, oh, what's this? As a child, and it just like, oh, version 2 is out. Oh, version 3 is out. Ooh, version 4.
See, I was in college when I got introduced to Sims. It was a young lady I went to elementary school with, bumped into her again in college.
Uh-huh.
And then for whatever reason, she was like, I don't like this game anymore. You can have it. And I was like, okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I got addicted. It was so bad. And my
To,
mom got
to,
addicted.
to all the simmers, so. Sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to do it. I had to.
I don't mind because
I
they do
had
it in
to.
our language.
Yes, I think I played earlier this year, but it's just with all the because it's like I can't play without mods and custom content and stuff, and so it's like they push stuff out, but they never fully fix the bugs from the previous version. So it just kind of got to that point of frustration where I was like, I have to step away, and then
I miss the disc. I miss the disc. And I'm not really feeling the whole EA online one.
yeah, it's a little bit tricky. I did want to, I don't think it's out yet, but they had a different game by independent developers, Paralives, that's supposed to come out at some point. So I might want to give that a try just to kind of see like can I get with it because the art style is different from The Sims. It kind of looks more like somebody drew the characters. It's not a bad thing, but it's different. So
And what is it called again?
Paralives.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it has the same kind of features and
It's a
concept of
simulation.
cinema.
Simulation game. So I'm like, okay, I may, once it's out, might check some reviews out, see what people say about it, and then maybe we'll see something else. But it definitely, that game definitely was um, a good way to kind of pause and pivot. But I honestly feel like they kind of tied together, right? Because had I been playing Sims, right, I tell you, I would have logged in and I would have made a 3D model of the kitchen first
Yeah.
before I made the one in real life. So
Yeah.
they kind of go hand in hand with me.
They do. They
Hmm.
do. And it's something you said because there's another doll account, and occasionally she will share uh her Sims and certain
Hmm.
layouts that she has in her dioramas that she has now put into her game. Now I don't know if she did the game part first and then the
Oh,
diorama physically, but yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they do. They go hand in hand. They go hand in
Hmm.
hand.
Yes, yes, they do.
Deception Anton said, "Hey, ladies, let's see here. Great point." Doll Sanity said, "Doing it for the hobby and the joy."
Hmm.
And then Cook Erican said, "I play with my dolls too." Deception Anton said, "I have a question. Do your dolls take on a personality where it's hard to find clothing, or where it's hard to find clothing for their style?" So the question is, do your dolls take on a personality where it's hard to find clothing for their style?
I'm gonna say yes. So it's both. Yes and no. Yes, there are times where I'm like, okay, like I said, I just have the vision of what the type of clothing you'll wear, so it's a little bit easier for me to figure it out. But then we have those characters where it's like, geez, I really want you to be able to wear something like this, and I've searched for it and I cannot find it. Or if I find it, for example, like I actually like the curvy Barbie
I knew you
body.
were going to talk about it. Come on now. Yeah,
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 and
say it.
some people aren't fond of it, right? But one of the challenges was looking for fashion and finally finding the fashion, but then it would just look so frumpy. Like the bands on the waist were just way too thick, or the pants were way too high waisted, or the shirts just look very matronly or frumpy. So then it's like, okay, what else can I possibly do to figure out this kind of trendy look that I have in my mind? And then some people slowly would kind of pivot, and so that became easier. But then when you have those specific looks, I'll just use like the alternative look, for example. That's probably not something that I would do a deep dive into, but I wouldn't mind having one or two characters where that's exactly what they are. They're alternative. And so I'm like, well, I would need shoes like this, and I would need socks like this, or I would need tights like this, or I would need these type of skirts, these type of pants, these type of tops. And so for me, I'm like, well, I just don't have an alternative character because I don't know where I'm going to get the stuff from. And though even though you do have people that you can commission for different clothing looks, it just becomes a matter of, well, geez, do I really want to pay for that? Or how much are they charging? Like, is it really that important for me to have that look
Hmm.
if you're going to charge me $100? And my
And then
answer is
how
going to
often
be
are
no.
you going to photograph that doll?
Exactly. And that's the thing for me too. I don't like to really repeat the clothing that often, or like to the point where it's that noticeable. So it just would, you know, like, okay, what do I do about this or that? So, hmm.
I get it.
It's, yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Now, with
Mhm.
your dolls, in alignment with that question, do your dolls each have their own separate wardrobe, or do they share a wardrobe?
For the most part, they share a wardrobe, but there are things that are for specific dolls. So I don't. Here we go, being Frankenstein. So I don't know if people can notice looking at my mini me's photos. I have made her chest larger to make her appearance more proportionate,
How
right?
did you do it? How did you do it? I have to ask. 'Cause I've been going on YouTube and I'm just like, how do I do this?
Yes. So epoxy scope.
Okay.
The two-part epoxy scope. I feel like I was talking to somebody about this, and they said they were looking at a couple YouTube videos, but I kind of had to just find my way. But again, I think I was talking to the same
Thank you.
Dolly friend that we were talking about the kitchen and all that stuff, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you do epoxy scope, and then try this or try that or whatever." So I'm like, okay. I brought it, I tried it, came up with my own little process. Let it dry, then shaped it, and then you move into the painting stage. So she is a lot fuller up top than the initial doll. And so I know when I go to dress her, so I've done it to her and one other curvy doll. So I know now when I go to dress them, their stuff has to be stretched on the top so
Okay.
that it can fit. But there's a couple things that have just been made by chance that do fit. It just fits the top. But 9 times out of 10, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to put you in some sort of top, it has to be stretchy, or you might not be able to wear that dress because it's not going to snap in the back because now your chest is bigger.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I thank you for sharing it with me because I really have. I've been trying because I want the dolls to have different dimensions.
Right.
And maybe even for me to be able to live a little bit vicariously through them because I'm not really top heavy like I thought I would be. So,
Hmm.
like,
It's
how
like
can I
that's what
do
the
this with
dogs are
my
here
dog?
for. We can live through them.
Exactly. How can I
Yeah.
give her a breath augmentation?
Yes.
And I thought about using the hot glue gun, and putting like the hot glue, but I really don't want to put hot glue on
Right.
my dog.
Yeah. And to be
So,
honest, I think the hot glue would be very limiting because by the time, right, like you need time to shape it. And
Okay.
so if you hot glue it, then it's like, what happens if now it's a little lump here or a little lump here and there? And so it's like, okay, well, now I got to figure out a way to kind of smooth this out, because when this doll puts on this dress or this shirt, the lump is obvious. Whereas with the epoxy sculpt, I think they tell you on the packaging maybe how long you have, but it's equal parts, and then you have to mix the equal parts together. Um, so I do sand the area that I'm going to adhere it to first. I do that first. So I do that, and then once it's on there, then I start to shape it with like a wet paintbrush, or other tools or whatnot to get the desired shape that I'm going for. And so I think you have at least an hour to kind of play around with it. So imagine just using a hot glue gun. That glue dries quickly, but when you're working with the epoxy sculpt, it kind of takes its time, to dry, so you have a little bit more flexibility.
Okay. I appreciate that. I was writing it
Yeah.
down. I do. I appreciate that. I've been interested in this for quite some time, and there's
Hmm.
only a few videos on it on
Hmm.
YouTube, which is a little bit different. I thought we would have more, but
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate that. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so let's hear. Dolls of Design says to you guys that have support from a partner is truly amazing, and I am so envious.
Yeah.
Aw, don't be envious. But yeah, I appreciate that. Hey,
Mhm.
I appreciate that. This section Anton said is harder for the guys. So I think I believe that he's still commenting about the clothes, finding the clothes as far
I
as you have characters that
so
only desire certain clothes, or you're trying to find
um,
that style for them.
I don't think it's is so I didn't know if he was talking about the clothing or the public photography piece. But for the
Oh,
clothing,
we may have been talking about that too. Okay.
yeah, for the clothing, it hasn't been bad for me, right? Because I don't know. I guess I like dressy for guys, but then I like casual, trendy, and just kind of, I don't want to say city-ish, but to an extent city-ish. I just try to put them in things that I see guys here wear.
I mean,
If
how
that
in the world though are you getting these pants for guys? I have the hardest time finding pants for my males. I really
So
do.
now, sadly, with countries cutting us off, like, hey, we're not going to ship to you guys anymore. It would be the overseas people, because I think when you kind of go down the cycle, right, with Etsy and probably eBay, well, I don't want to say during COVID, there were different overseas sellers that got cut off, right? So that was kind of the start of it. But then there were some that were still left, and they make great products, but then it's like now we find ourselves at a point where so many from overseas can't even ship to us. So for some of those bottoms for males, a lot of my stuff I think just came from overseas. So jeans or pants, jackets, that type of stuff. The shoes, which I love, like I got a whole container of like Nikes. These dolls got way more Nikes and shoes than me, the guys. um, but I think a lot of those I got some off eBay. I think some came from AliExpress, and some came from a separate site.
I have not gone down the AliExpress rabbit hole yet, but
Hmm.
I've gone through the Temu one, but not the
Oh,
AliExpress.
okay.
I've seen some really awesome pieces
Hmm.
from AliExpress. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The
Hmm.
Dogkin said, when you have a hype person or a hype man, it's amazing. Or your husband slash partner, not ashamed of your hobby and even taking pictures in the doll aisle, sending you picture is amazing. Pictures is
Yeah.
amazing. That's true.
Hmm.
Um, Justin said, friend or friend, FRENN and friend and friend.
Hmm.
No, okay.
I think that was both of us. It was
Okay.
like friend and friend.
Okay, okay, I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
Uh-huh.
Jenny said Barbie Land versus Real World. Will opt for Real World. Barbie Land only for Barbie convention.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I'm with that. She got some of everything. I've seen her travel diorama case of goodies.
It's kind of, yeah, it's a little case. It's a little case. It even gets to the point, and I don't think I had brought that up. So when we would vacation,
Hmm.
there is like a whole little bag that goes with me for the dolls and whatever stuff I choose to take on vacation with me, so I can get photography. So I can just take some cool things. And so the doll pictures that were on the flyer for, for today,
Yeah,
literally, because we had been in, so those were taken in the Bahamas, and I knew that
it's
we were
gorgeous.
going to walk to the area with the restaurants, and I knew that the public beach was right there. So I said, okay, after we eat, digest and everything, and we walk back, then I'll just stop at the public beach to take some pictures. So literally, the doll was in the bag. She was already dressed. Her little cocktail was already in the bag. The little stick that I was going to use to prop her up, that was already in the bag. And so literally, like I said, supportive spouse. So he's kind of just standing around or finding somewhere to sit. Um, and I kind of just sit there and I'm like, it's not going to take me that long. It's not going to take me that long. Just let me do my thing real quick. And so because I had already done that pre-planning, um, and brought those things from the travel bag, it made it easier to sit there on the beach and kind of take those pictures.
I understand
So,
that. I get
yeah,
that. I get that. So it's not like you have to dress the doll and then look through
right,
stuff, to find out where your support stick is. And isn't it? I love
right.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
Just already being prepared.
Hmm.
That's a tip. That's a
Yes,
nugget.
it is.
Being prepared.
It makes it a little bit easier. I feel like it makes you less frustrated. So wherever we typically go, my doll is already in the bag dressed. So even at convention where I may wake up and I'm like, all right, I don't have anything to do till 12 o'clock. What are we doing until then? And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead, take her out, dress her, put her in the bag. So boom, she's good. She's good to go. So in the event somebody wants to stop and take a dolly picture, she's ready. Or we walking around and we see something outside that's really, really cute and it works with 1/6 scale, she's ready. So it's just, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's true. But I'm like, yeah, too.
Hmm.
It's actually what my husband tells our kids all the time.
Yeah. Yep. It's accurate.
Yes, yes. He's like, stay ready. Don't have to get ready. He's like,
Huh?
his kids will be like, hey, let me come with you. He's gonna be, running an errand, and he's like, do you have your shoes on? Do you have this? And they're like, well, wait. And he's like, stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
Right.
That's true.
Exactly.
Island Dimp or Island Imp said, as some of us say, we are 1/6 rich. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Justin said, LOL, right. My doll's in luxury. Cook Erican said, my grandson-in-law, LOL, his mom and my son just had a daughter together. He likes to play with one room in my dollhouse, and that's the kitchen. Also said he loves cooking in the doll kitchen. I have a bed in my doll room, so everyone likes to hang out on the bed floor to watch TV, and they talk about the dolls. I hope one of them becomes the doll collector. You never know.
You never know. That sounds cool.
Yeah, you never know.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Lucian Elvin Prince said, hey, girlies. And let's see here. It's nice to have an actual conversation with nice people. So very true. I've
Yes.
sold about 4 of my IT girls, very sad times, but saved for another beautiful dolly. I've been noticing people have been selling their dolls,
Uh-huh.
but, and I don't know, we know everyone has different reasons why. One person stated they just felt like they had just so much, and
Uh-huh.
it was kind of hard for them to figure out. It felt overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then she did another post stating like how she's been feeling since she, did this massive purge. And she
Uh-huh.
said she feels, more comfortable that she can kind of like figure out what dolls that she wants to play with. And I just think you have to do what's going to be best for you.
Yeah. I can
You
agree with
know?
I think it's for new people coming into this hobby, right? You jump into this hobby and then it's like, ooh, I want this and this and this and this. This person is selling this and this person is selling that. And I found this online and I found this online and then I went here and I went to the thrift store and I have this. So it is easy in the beginning to get so much, but at some point you do have to find your lane, right? If your lane is going to be, just storytelling literally through dolls, like there's a whole write up underneath the post then you know your lane is storytelling. If it's
Mhm.
following one family, two family, or following one person or whatever, then now you know what to kind of center your stuff around. Or if you're strictly into vintage dolls, then let your focus be vintage. Um, if you're into more of the high end dolls like integrity dolls, then it's
Mhm.
like, okay,
Mhm.
now you need to, that's a different type of beast, and you need to focus on that and understand what you're buying, and everything that comes with that. So I feel like it becomes a little bit easier and less overwhelming the sooner you find your lane. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you can't dibble and dabble in other lanes, but I've seen people just really go down the rabbit hole because they've had to buy everything. But you can't look at their page and find any type of consistency.
Yeah.
So, like, I couldn't look at a person's page and say, "This is your lane." It's like you're the whole highway. I don't know. But it just becomes overwhelming. So,
Yeah.
I've been seeing people say, "Okay, I'm not into integrity anymore. I'm gonna focus on Barbie." So they're selling those. Or I've seen people, "I'm not in Barbie anymore. I'm into integrity strictly." So they sell off all the Barbies. So they're like, "Okay, Bratz is killing it with their fashion pack. So maybe I'm letting go of all my Barbies and I'm jumping into Bratz." Or just vice versa. But people have to do what's right for them. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not mad at it either.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on being able to know where your lane is at and what you enjoy. And of course, there's nothing wrong with dibbling and dabbling and figuring out what you enjoy.
Yeah.
In fact, you want to photograph. And I do see a lot of mixing between the Barbies and integrity.
Hmm.
As far as people taking pictures of them, especially with fashion.
Hmm.
Somewhat with storyline, but especially with the fashion, I see people take pictures of both. Or if you just have Bretts that you're going to keep on your shelf, but you're not
Hmm.
really photographing them. So I think that you just have to decide on what's best for you. But I
Yeah.
definitely understand about feeling overwhelmed because I have whatever dolls that I have. And that's why I said I'm kind of on a fast. I'm like, it really has to be a doll that speaks to me,
Hmm.
that makes me want to just like, yes, I have to have that doll in my collection. Uh, Otherwise, I'm like, I'm kind of good with what I have because I don't want it to become
Right.
overwhelming. And then I'm
Yeah.
like one of those people just like, I gotta get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I think I was able to kind of sit two totes to the side of some with some of the stuff, but I'm like, geez, I know there's probably more things I need to get rid of, but I do have a hard time looking at my stuff and saying, "Oh, okay, I can let this go," because then
Oh,
it's kind of like, but am I going to need that later on? Hmm.
exactly. Like I may not have a role for this doll right now, but later on I may.
Yeah.
And that doll may be hard to get again.
Right. Or
So I'm gonna
it's
be
like if
yeah,
I'm not that interested in your face, I might be able to use your body for somebody else I am interested in later
that's,
on. So
that's true. Or like I dab a little bit with customizing. I want to get more and more into it. So maybe I'm not into the face, but I can always practice with that face.
exactly. Exactly.
Quite ready. And then ours just kind of gets recycled because whatever dolls that I decide that I don't want,
Hmm.
or if my daughters, they look at me with their puppy dog eyes, and then I end up getting the doll, so it stays in the house
Right.
anyway.
It stays in the house.
Stays
Yeah.
in the house. It stays in the house. Let's see here. I've taken pics ahead of time and had a whole new mini by that time. I was so mad. Ugh, yeah, that one kind of that stinks. It's a
Hmm.
shame there isn't any doll events in the UK where I'm from. Are you girls excited about the new Bianca doll from Wednesday? She's so beautiful. I have not seen the doll. Have you?
Oh, I think I have seen. Okay, I did see it then. I thought it was a custom. I didn't realize it was an actual doll coming out. She looked cute from what I could see, and I don't know if that UK person is in here, but they have. Ooh, I think they call it the doll meet in the UK.
Okay.
Uh, so I don't know if that person is still here. You can
Who
shoot
is
me a
this
message. And
person?
we can speak.
Lucian Elvin is Lucian underscore Elvin underscore Prince. So
Okay, yeah, they have something where they I'm not sure how frequently. I know it's at least once a year, but I feel like it might be once every couple months, maybe, or something like that.
okay. Okay. So hopefully if you're still here or you come back to this, you'll be able to hear it. The
Hmm.
Phantom Productions did at Lucian and said, well, it's like they say, be the change that you want in the world. That's true. which Lucian also said too. Justin said the black one don't have a match. Okay,
The
now we're
holiday
talking about
kin.
the holiday kins.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Asian matches. And Dolls and Design says he matches him as far as the man bun. The very pale
Okay.
kin with the
Yeah.
bun does match the Asian one. The black one doesn't have a match. My only issue with the black one, he's very, very cute. I think they're all cute. It's just that I guess I was expecting a different face mode because he's a
Yeah.
fashionista thing.
Yeah. So I share the same feelings. I didn't so I didn't appreciate that it was literally just the fashionista kin in the exact same skin tone, and we also do not have a made to move or articulated body for that skin tone. So I felt like that really defeated the purpose.
Okay.
That's really kind of bigger overarching issue for me. If I could be 100%, honest, is
Please.
we have the dark skin, made to move body and articulated body for the Ken dolls. And then, that green hair BMR, which has a little bit more of that reddish orangish undertone, which does
Yes.
match a couple of guys. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But that regular brown, like the same shade of my mini me, we don't have that. Even though
No.
we've received Ken heads in that shade, and we don't have that for men yet, and I just feel like it's on purpose at this point. Like
It
you're just
does.
intentionally
It
not
does. It
making
feels very intentional. It
very
does.
intentional.
I have a like okay, when you brought up about seeing when you went back into the doll aisle for your niece and you just saw which I know which fashionista you're talking about, the striped one
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
with the fro.
Yes.
Okay, I love the factor being that compared to when we were children, there are all kinds of dolls with different, you know, skin tones,
Yes.
of course, different body shapes,
Hmm.
different heights. I love that. But
Yes.
my issue is when we talk about the different hues of complexion, is that we're not getting the articulated or the made to move bodies that come along with it.
Yes.
So we have this fashionista the head, which we know for us, we're going to end up popping off the head with a head
Hmm.
that's in this different complexion or, whatever brown complexion that there is, because we are, as humans, a rainbow of different complexions, especially within our own brown community. And it would be great to be able to have the made to move bodies, or at least the articulated bodies that accompanies it.
It would be.
It really, really was. So I agree with you. Even with the guy that came out and he has the same look of the looks doll. The one who I have is Reggie, my character Reggie, who has the
Hmm.
lock. But it's actually the looks doll who has the braids
Yeah.
at the very top of his head. So
Hmm.
then we got this other doll this year with the blue outfit on, and he's a lighter brown, and he's a fine looking doll. But
He
why
is.
why doesn't he? I understand. I mean, 100, I would have loved for him to be made to move.
At
But
least
why did he get
articulated.
like a complimenting skin tone? There's
Yeah.
not a complimenting skin tone for the made to move.
Yeah. It's not. And I can golly, the rabbit hole. Even seeing, so they are gonna continue the ooh, was that Looks Dolls? So that's one of kind of like the benefits of the Barbie going to convention is you do kind of get some sneak peeks. So the U Creates are coming back for another round, and I can't remember. So I can't remember if that was another wave of Look Dolls or if that was You Creates. But needless to say, it's still not going to be a body match for that second Ken Couture, which I think is handsome. I forgot I did purchase him too. He's still in the box, but it's kind of like I don't have a body match for you.
Nobody,
So
nobody.
what am I going to do with you? I mean, and it's like we have to rely on that green top. So it's like you rely on the green top made to move for the closest.
Yeah,
Or you go out there and get a fresh squad body if you can find it on sale. But then, those they have their own issues.
yeah. It still don't get the same. And it's nothing against Fresh Squad. I love Fresh Squad. I really, really do.
Hmm.
But the mobility is different.
Right. The
It's
mobility is different.
I'm spoiled by the made to move.
Yeah. Because even if people don't even realize the waist is different. And so you can take fresh squad body, you can take their pants and put it on Ken, but some of the Ken stuff, the fresh squad body's waist is actually wider. So
Yes,
it's like, okay, so if I got these cute kin clothes, and even if I put this kin head on this body, now it's still a challenge because he can't fit the bottoms the way I need him to. So,
exactly. Exactly. I
yeah.
get it. I get
Mm-hmm.
it. And everyone else
Yep.
on here, they get where our vibe is at. That's the beautiful thing about
Yes.
being able to talk collector to collector because we get it.
Yes. We get the
It
frustration.
is. It is. And
Yeah.
quite honestly, now here goes my thing. If I can spend, I almost don't want to say this out loud, but if I can spend $25 for the Looks doll that is
Mm.
a made to move, why is it then that, and I understand that the King Couture is in fact a,
Collector doll.
he's a collector's doll. I do. I get it. But at 100, I just feel like could we at least get an option for a made to move, or if you do just want them on this muse body, then that's entirely up to the individual. I mean, maybe, and of course, I'm like asking them to do two different things, but
I
options are
mean,
always so nice.
but honestly, it makes sense, right? Because I feel like what's the harm in it? If I am a inbox collector, right?
Yes,
If you have given me this made to move body, guess what? My doll still looks great standing stiff in this box. If they are hands on like you and I, guess
yes,
what? Now we've taken him out the box, and surprise, surprise, he has articulated body, so it's the best of both worlds.
it really
Uh,
is.
yeah, because 9 times out of 10, when you meet some of these inbox collectors, like they just the only time they really have something out of box is if they found it, secondhand at an
Yeah,
auction or
yeah,
a vintage show or a doll show, just something like that. Then they may have a couple of out of box loose dolls. But I'm like, it doesn't really matter if it's for people who like to keep their dolls in the box, and then make it be the best of both worlds. Like you, at this point, you see us taking bodies. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul with these doll bodies. We're finding
yeah,
these beautiful Barbies from the 2000s, and we are finding their made to move batches, and we are sticking those heads on there. So it's like, that we're doing it at
hmm
this point. You know that you have, out of your collector base, you know that you kind of have two sides of the aisle. So it's
yeah.
like, just give us what we want.
I agree.
Yeah.
Agree. I agree. Only thing it's going to do for them is just give them more money. Quite honestly.
It will, because who's to say that a
Yeah,
person
our
now,
bank can give them more.
yeah, who's to say that a person now won't say, okay, greatest made to move, boom, I can play with it, but maybe I do want to keep one box. So maybe instead of spending $100 on one, maybe I've given you $200 because I want one box and I want one to play with.
Yes.
Yeah, people will
Yes.
do it for the right doll. They'll do it.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Sure will. Won't even bat our eyes and do it.
Yes.
Be happy about it.
Exactly. Like, here you go. Take my money. Thank you. Thank you.
Say, I agree with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Dawkins said yes, Leah was a need for me too. Funny how other people understand the donor body need. Exactly. I love both of y'all's hairstyles. Oh, well, thank
Oh,
you.
thank
The
you.
doll blog said that. Dolls and Design said, I got 5 Aaliyahs.
I'm not mad at it at all. We had to do what we had
Either.
to do.
Not either. I can't be. I can't be.
Yeah. We had to do what we had to
Oh, man. She said we did. We had to.
do. Do what we had to do. That's it. Because we just know, in your lifetime, like, had I been able to score a second Tina Turner, I would have. I only got one.
Oh,
Right. So
oh, I don't know what's up with the Tina Turner. I wish I would have got
okay.
that Tina Turner when it came out because I
Yeah.
was collecting at that time. But I just thought that her price was going to stay at least in the same range because
Man.
you and I were growing up. What did they say? They were like, keep up with well, my mom, and other people would tell me like, keep up with your dolls. So when you get older,
Mm-hmm.
those dolls will become valuable. They'll increase in price. Now you look on eBay and some of the dolls that we had when we were growing up, it's like $10,
Yeah.
$30.
Yeah.
But yet the doll that just came out like 4 years ago is
Mm-hmm.
250.
Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, if you really want to mention it, back then, because of course it was a white offering and a black offering. The white offering may be $10, but the black offering is $65.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's, yeah, it's hit or miss though. I've seen a couple of like dolls from our childhood, easily $100. But like you said, there have definitely been some where I'm like, "Ooh, I want that again. Let me go ahead and buy that for $20 and
Yeah.
call it a day."
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I really, I had a conversation with another doll collector some time ago, and they were telling me it's about the demand. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's supply and demand, but especially the demand. If there's more of a demand on a doll like a Tina Turner, then the
Yeah.
price is going to go up. That's just the
Yeah.
bottom line to it.
Yep.
Compared to a Christie doll from 1993 or from 1990, you can probably still get a pretty fair price on it.
Right.
So, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it's all very true.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. As Art slipped into Rose Doll Style said, "Hey, babies. Hello, how are you?" Cook Erican said, "I started leaving my dolls in the box until I'm ready to use them. I don't want to have dust on them." I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And then Stormy and Diva said, "My Aaliyah is still boxed. If I get another, I may unbox. I don't know." Dawkins said, "Same. I can't take her out of the box. I wish I got two, but she is so perfect."
Yeah.
Right? I like this. Y'all conversating. I don't like when they get dusty. LOL. The doll block said, "Mine done get dusty." Okay, or mine done got dusty. I know. LOL, or I don't care. LOL. But I have them sitting in a diorama. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes those like the IDK
Mm-hmm.
LOLs, like I'm still learning them. I really, really am. Like if I get too many letters together, like I really do, I have to sit down and just like,
It's like,
okay.
wait a minute, let me write this out real quick. Oh, that's what it means. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. But there's
I have to
I
really,
know that's so
yeah.
off topic, but there's even like these little video clips where somebody will have the first letter of all the words and it might be like 8 letters and they just take it to people. They're like, what does this mean? Let me give you context now. What does this mean? They're like, I know. Oh, da 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 da. And it's like, this is so stupid.
It's just stupid because we're now in this realm where like this is relevant, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, which is nothing against because it's quick. It's like shorthand. It's like modern day shorthand. I get it, but
Mhm.
it's just unless if you're growing up in the culture, like you get it, but
Yes.
for me, I'm still trying to get it. I've seen those videos. Like some of them are all the letters, and it's just like you better get your blah 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 home before it
Uh-huh.
gets dark, something like that. And I'm
Yes.
like, but it's just the letters.
Yes. The first letter. And it's like, oh my goodness, y'all are so silly.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. It's just different eras. That's it.
Yes.
I remember with my mom, certain things I would just be like, why doesn't she get it? Is she really that old? Why doesn't she
Right.
get it? And now I'm in that position where I'm
Right.
just
And it's
like,
like, I don't get it. Ooh, I don't get it.
I don't feel like I'm old, but yeah,
Hmm.
the times are just going by so quick.
Right.
Just there, fan of production said it was a fun event. I didn't even notice how many people actually recognized my account. I think we're
Hmm.
talking about the Barbie con.
That was from our open house.
Open house.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so Phantom is part of it. That's cool.
Yeah, he came out for the open house. That was cool.
That is cool. Doll Mama said, "Where are you located?" I said DC area. Is that
Hmm.
correct?
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Doll Mama said, "Sounds like fun." Doll Mama said, "Are y'all a certain age?" We already talked about that. My aunt said, "Teamwork." Thank you. Doll Mama said, "What's your oldest?" We already answered that. So, okay, thanks. Stormy and Diva said, "Right. I will play with dolls forever. Stop when I thought I was too big as a kid. I love that it doesn't matter now."
Right.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Hmm.
Doll Sanity said, "Yes, been a simmer since Sims 1. Hey.
Yes.
I'm down with that. Okay. IO LYS Dolls said,
Oh,
"Hi,
yeah.
so nice to see you."
Hmm.
So, okay, so I'm believing, okay, you know who that is. And
Yeah.
Mom just joined. Hello, Mom. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to say hi. And then Stormy and Diva said, "Love curvy Barbies, love the diversity." So very, very true. My issue is just the clothes. I mean, you had already talked about it, so I didn't even need to trim the same bush twice because that is my issue when it comes to
Yeah.
curvy clothes. My favorite is the curvy doll, and I believe that's
Yeah.
another reason why I feel such a connection with your account
Hmm.
because you dress her up so fabulous with all of her. curviness.
Yes, of course.
And yeah, and I didn't even know about her chest. Like I
Hmm.
didn't focus in on it. But
It
now,
was,
that you brought it up, now we'll be like,
yes, it was so funny because we were taking pictures at the convention, and it was even some guys that were attending the conventions, and they're there, they play with dolls as well. And I
mhm.
remember one of the guys was like, he just was looking, and then he looked, he said, I almost had to question my own sexuality because, oh, she has a lot going on up there. I said, she sure does. She sure does. In a tasteful way, though. She's going to lure you right on in. Yes, I was like, oh
You
my
do.
gosh.
You always have her dressed so beautifully, and it is very hard to be able to find the proper clothing and even the proper shoes. Like, where are you getting the shoes, sis?
Man, so I think I had ended up, like Ali in the beginning, AliExpress would
Oh,
have,
I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole one day.
they had shoes because they would sell like individual pairs of shoes. And I think some of the ones that I got was like $1 and some change or whatnot, or like $2. So that is where I had gotten some of the shoes. Where was the other place? It was an Etsy seller at one point that used to divvy out the shoes. So actually, yeah, it was an Etsy seller. So some of the shoes would just say, okay, regular Barbie, and then, oh, these fit curvies or talls. So then it was like, okay, well, let me purchase some of those. And then there were a couple of eBay pages that sell like those individual pieces also, and they would say, okay, this is for regular Barbie, this is for curvies and talls. So that is where I had really started finding the shoes. And a couple of them were just kind of trial and error, but that's where I had found the shoes. Um, so for some, it's kind of more tricky now because with the tariffs and
Yeah.
people not shipping, but not necessarily, not tall boots, short boots, like the realistic looking boots that are made for fashion royalty type integrity dolls fit curvy and tall dolls. So when you see me with a shoe that actually looks like it's made out of realistic material, more than likely it's one of those shoes.
Okay. I did not know that. You're just giving me all the nuggets, all of us. I appreciate it. Because yeah, I have a hard time, and I do. I have a nice amount of curvy.
Hmm.
They're my favorite. You
Yeah.
know, I feel that our they just depict our bodies well. I mean, like, could it be done differently?
Yeah.
Yes, but considering that right now this is the only brand of dolls that's showcasing dolls of a different size,
Hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really, really do. So that is one of my favorite body structures. But
Yeah.
the clothing is not always available.
Yeah, and it's
And
some
then
of
the
the
shoes, like I
sellers,
said, so I do appreciate it.
yeah, the sellers that I had gotten stuff from, because I'm an accumulator, right? Like I might see something that's posted in December, but it's for summer. I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. I don't know when I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna use it. So there's stuff that I have from people that don't even sell anymore. Like their accounts aren't, aren't
Yeah,
aren't active anymore and on any selling platform. So that's kind of been, helpful. What was helpful then,
yeah.
but it's not that helpful now. So
I understand. I do. I do. I understand. And things have definitely changed.
hmm,
And we are looking at a different climate because of the tariffs.
yeah,
There's been, just like you said earlier, a few doll accounts that have stated that they're going to have to suspend uh, being able to, send packages,
yeah,
shipping here in the States until things get sorted out.
hmm,
So this has created a different level of, I don't want to say anxiety, but just a different change in our
yeah.
shopping habits.
It.
Um, and even in our connection with one another, because I feel that
Hmm.
being able to purchase different designs and fashions or miniatures from each other in different countries and different continents, it does create this bond. Like, look at what I bought
Yeah,
from this person. Look at the details. Look at this,
yeah,
and it creates more social networking.
it,
So believe it, we're not just looking at an issue as far as not being able to purchase product, but
mhm.
also even an interruption in how we socialize.
Yeah, and then it's even taking it a step further, right? It's, we don't. I'll say here in the States, we probably really don't think about making a living on things that we may sell, right? But for people in other countries, this is literally how they were feeding their families. And if the
True.
US was your biggest customer, it's like, wow, what am I going to do to be able to feed my family now? Because I can't sell to them because I can't ship to them. So it really is unfortunate, and I do feel like it. Yes, it's a lot of talented people here in the U.S., but
Mhm.
it's like they're not even tapping into their talents to craft and create and sell like those overseas are. And then when they do, what I could have got from you in Poland for $25, somebody in the States wants to charge me 75, and now I don't want it anymore
That's true.
because that's 50 more dollars just for that one item. So it definitely is a very different time, and I feel like it's going to force us to do one or two things: make it yourself or appreciate what you already got.
You have a good point on that.
Yeah.
You have a good point. Until things, and I believe, I mean, like, I'm being the optimist right here. I'm like, I believe that things are going to open up and things are going to, I'm not going to say so much as get back to where it was, because nothing ever really does get back to where it was.
Right.
But I do pray that things do open up, where we're not looking at this tariff as such a dividing force,
Yes.
and they can actually, that we don't have the tariffs. That would be great.
Right. That
I'm
I
not
mean
being
that would be
anti-government or anything of that nature. I'm just looking at budget and finances and being able to purchase from other places, other
yeah.
countries.
Yeah.
That I like the community that we had
Mhm.
previously, and how people were able to communicate and be able to build networks together, and just like you
Mhm.
said, people being able to make a living off
Mhm.
of their talent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if my mom hadn't made a living off of her talent. you
Right.
know
Mhm.
that's how she supported our household, was with her sewing.
Right.
So I completely agree with you, and I do believe that we need to keep our other creative brothers and sisters, play brothers and sisters, in our prayer during this time, because for us, we go, okay, well, I just won't be able to buy that.
Right.
For them, who, anyone who was living off of their finances that they and the income that they got from making the clothes and whatever else that they were making and selling to the states, that can really cause a real big damper in your finances.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up,
Mhm.
and we definitely don't want to ignore that, because the environment is different.
Right.
The
Exactly.
environment is different, and
Yeah.
I believe that's even if we talk about it a little bit, I believe that that's even been kind of the change of what we've seen when it comes to people posting, maybe even
Mhm.
because there is so much going on,
Yeah.
to
Yeah, cuz
where
it's a
how do you maintain the joy of
mhm.
photography and maintain the joy with your doll hobby, and
Yeah.
not let what's going out there influence your creative zone?
Right. It's a struggle, and even for me, it's been a struggle. Like I said, I live in the DC area. I'm also a federal employee, right? So anybody following any type of news since February really knows what we've been battling with. That like I lost a lot of good management. I lost my manager, bowed out in hopes that if he left, then maybe the rest of us would have a fighting chance to stay employed or whatnot, which is commendable for him and the others that took those opportunities and stuff. So in a sense, it has been a bit of a struggle because you're losing people. You don't know if you're going to have a job. Now you got to wake up. You got to go to work every day when you're used to being in the comfort of your own home. Everything is quiet when you want it to be. It's noisy when you want it to be. You can create when you want to, think freely, and then it's like everything kind of gets turned upside down. So while my posting may have slowed, like I said, I'm still playing. You just not seeing it because it's like I have to have something to get my mind off of all the negativity.
Yeah,
Uh, and yeah, it's hitting everybody different.
it is. It
Yeah.
is. It is. It's hitting everyone different.
Hmm.
And like I said, I'm glad that once again we're having this conversation. We don't have to get into detail about it because just saying that it's hitting everyone different
Yeah.
explains a whole lot. And that's one of the reasons why with my particular channel, I call it Adult Play Therapy Show
Hmm.
because one just looking at it from the perspective of being adults and the importance
Hmm.
of play. And just like you said, being able to have that behind the scenes, I love that you said that, being able to have that behind the scenes play is so therapeutic, and especially in the environment of what we have. And I don't think that it's just from this year or last year. This has just been an ongoing thing, probably since we were young. It's just
Yeah.
escalating in different ways, and the ways that we perceive it is different as
Uh-huh.
we get older and we gain more understanding about what's going on around us.
Yeah.
uh, Being, each one of us are segmented and member of different communities,
Hmm.
so whatever member of the community that you are, we're part of the Black community. You're getting hit differently. Your
Yeah.
understanding of
Exactly.
life is different.
Exactly.
Uh, so it's different than when you were 5
Yeah.
and where you're at right now.
Yes.
And so even the way that you understand and interpret policies and the legal jargon of what's around us also changes.
Hmm.
So the weight of it,
The
it's
weight of it.
different.
Yes. The weight of it. The weight of it. Definitely. Yes. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I just somebody had said had things went a different way in November, we literally would just be going to brunch on the weekends, living life carefree, not a care, not a care concern in the world. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to just go to brunch on the weekend and not have to worry, worry about anything like is this that this that this whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I'll get off my soapbox so we can go on to something else.
No, no, I understand. I understand. So we don't have brunch on
Hmm.
Saturday. Our cares and so forth are different
Yeah.
than what we would like to imagine. And of course, listen, we are still living in a fantasy on it.
Yeah.
That's just the
Yeah.
reality. We still living in our own little fantasy. We're saying, what if this
Hmm.
would happen? What if that would happen? And this would be different. And I think that we do. I'm a queen of doing that. I'm a
Yeah.
queen of doing that. Like, what if I would have majored in this? And what if I would have went to this school? And what if
Yes.
I would have became, an
Hmm.
AKA like I dreamt of? And
Hmm.
in my little mind, I think for whatever reason that things are going to be better because I have dreamt of this
Yeah.
dream.
Hmm.
But it doesn't mean that it would have.
Right. It doesn't.
We could actually still be in the same spot.
We could.
Actually still be in the same spot, just a different person sitting there.
Hmm.
So I think once when we kind of remove ourselves from this thought of what if, which
Hmm.
I've been practicing that more, and I'm actually really
Yeah.
proud of myself. I'm taking myself from what if,
Yes. That's good though.
because what if leaves you in this state of anxiety
Yes.
and
It does.
like
It
you
does.
almost just like you said about this new game, you almost become paralyzed
Yeah.
because of the what if. So this year I've been working more on no more what ifs. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. This is where we're at. So what can I do to kind of like help maintain myself
Exactly.
so that I don't spiral? And
Hmm.
just like you said, being able to have that behind the scenes play
Hmm.
helps out a lot. Coming to your doll area, wherever your doll area it is, it
Yeah.
helps. Being able to journal, walk, spend time watching a show, spend time with your husband, your family, whatever it is,
Yeah.
those things count. And if
Hmm.
anything, I think that we almost become even more grateful for it because of what's
Yeah.
going on.
No, that's true. That's true.
So yeah, we become even more grateful. I didn't get a chance to go to brunch, but I did get a chance to,
Hmm.
I got a chance to freaking give that dog a bath that needed the bathroom. And we bonded. We bonded. He
Yes.
fought a little, but he's clean
But he
now.
smell. But he smells much better now.
He
Yes.
smells
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to post the picture, but I did get a chance to change the doll's clothes and make some plans about what photos I'm going to take next.
Hmm.
And I feel more relaxed. And
Yeah.
that's just what we need. Because if our nervous system is up and cortisol levels are up and stress hormones are up, we
Everything is
cannot
up.
really accomplish too much, really.
No, we can't.
We can't. We
Nope.
really, really can't. So that's the beautiful thing. Like, regardless of if the kid has the right complexion or not, it's still awesome to be able to
Mm-hmm.
have the dolls that we do, even to
Yeah.
fuss about what we would like changed,
Yeah. Yeah.
but just to be able to be in this place right now
Mm-hmm.
with the understanding of who we are and what we enjoy. And just like you said, the connections that you've made with neighbors that you didn't even know were dog collectors.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the political climate and just life period outside of our bubble a little
Yeah.
bit more manageable.
Yeah. It does.
It
Because
really,
I
really
don't,
does.
if I didn't have this community, it's just kind of like, ooh, where, like, where would I be mentally? Like, where would I be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you so much. Guys, I know we didn't get a chance to get all the questions and so forth answered. But we are so grateful for you being a part of our chat. My writing mentor is on here,
Oh,
Mr.
nice.
Charlie Schulman. I appreciate that. Yes, because I went to school for my MFA in writing and teaching, and I ended up meeting my husband and got pregnant with the first one, blah, blah, blah. And this is our writing mentor. He has plays that he does off Broadway, and I do believe also on Broadway. And just really a great influencement on my life as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I will call him out. Say thank you for being on here. And everyone
Absolutely.
else, thank you so much. And if you guys have any questions and you're just like, I really wanted it answered,
Mm-hmm.
please don't hesitate. You can definitely DM me your question. Is it okay if they DM you? If they were just
Yeah.
like, I have this question, I have to have it answered by you because I don't want to put you out there and be like, DM her. And you're just like, no.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
I have enjoyed our conversation, sis.
Me too. This was nice. This is actually my first time doing something like this. So I was like, oh, this should be
See,
cool.
I don't have anything. I always say, I'm like, I'm going to get something. Any pop there fly out no confetti, but
Yes, some
woo,
imaginary confetti.
we go back
Ah,
Yay! I'm so glad that you chose to have this first time with me.
yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, I enjoyed our chat.
Yes, me too.
And I will be keeping you guys in prayer too. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. There is a lot
It's a
going on.
there's
So
a lot going on. It's just like, okay. I think I've just moved further and further into the it is what it is. What's up?
yeah.
What's going on today? Do I need to wear a jacket outside today? Like what's the weather today? Like, okay, that's going on. What am I eating for dinner? What am I doing for lunch? It's just yeah. Whew.
Yeah. Just looking at the variables of what you can control,
Mm-hmm.
what you can maintain. So you can
Yep.
just really keep your head together.
Yep.
That's it. And then, and in the midst of that, still being able to find time to laugh and have
Yes.
joy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm with you on it. I am. So I'm looking forward to what else you're going to present with your photos, especially the holiday ones. I'm
Yes.
feeling juiced up to be able to take some pictures as well. So I
Yeah.
thank you. Honestly, I was like kind of going through my little drought,
Yeah.
my little creative drought.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
yeah,
sometimes
so
we
I
gotta,
needed a little pick me up.
yeah, we gotta force ourselves sometimes. Like not, deep dive, but it's like, okay, come on, you can do it. You can
Yeah.
put something together. So yeah.
Thank you, sis. This has really been, like I said, this has been good for me. It's been good for my heart to be able to have this conversation with you. And I hope
Yes.
we have another one soon.
Yes.
Yes. All right. You
Thank
enjoy the rest of your Saturday today. Tell your family I said thank you for allowing me to borrow you for this time. And you
Yes.
just have a really good day. And
All
good
right,
weekend.
you too. You
All
too.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye, everyone.